already I have discussed about the qualitative, qualitative aspects of the electrolytic cell. Now I am going to discuss the quantitative aspects of the electrolytic cell. Okay. So when it comes to the quantitative aspects of the Faraday's law, electrolytic cell, then the question that will come in your mind that we have to discuss about the Faraday's law, because Faraday has given the quantitative aspects of the electrolytic cell. Okay, because Faraday was the scientist who has studied about the electrolytic cell, and he has told everything, how much amount of product that is going to be formed on which electrodes, either anode, either cathode. All these things we will be discussing in this particular topic. So just try to understand. I am going to discuss the Faraday's law. Okay. So I will be discussing two types of laws that is given by Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law. Okay. And I will be discussing both the laws categorically. So first I am going to discuss about the Faraday's first law. Okay. So I am just writing here the quantitative aspects of electrolytic cell. Okay, quantitative aspects of the electrolytic cell. So first I am going to discuss about, before discussing quantitative aspects, I am just giving you a basics regarding this, about how much charge that will be required, what will be the amount of the charge. Okay, so just understand one thing, if you talk about the electron, okay, so it is a negatively charged particle, and if you will see the charge on the electron, that is equals to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. I am just writing only magnitude part. Okay, so if you talk about the proton, then it is equals to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. On electron and proton, both are having same charge, but they used to be in opposite in magnitude. If you will see, then here that will be negative sign, here that will be the positive sign. These two basic difference between the electron and proton. Okay. So here we are going to study about the chemical reaction, because in electrolytic cell we used to discuss about the non-spontaneous chemical reaction. We used to carry out non-spontaneous chemical reaction with the help of electric current. So we don't, and already you all know, in chemical reaction, during a chemical reaction, one electron used to participate. So because why proton don't take participate in the chemical reaction, because it used to reside inside the nucleus, and from nucleus it's unable to get take part in the chemical reaction, and electron used to reside in the cell. And already you all know the valence electron used to take part in the chemical reaction. Okay, not core electron, only valence electron used to take part in the core chemical reaction. That's why we will be discussing about only electron. So I am just rubbing it out. We don't have to discuss about these things. So this is the charge of one electron. Okay, if someone is asking, calculate the charge on 1 mole of electrons, then how will you calculate? So if you will see, in 1 mole there is 6.022 into 023 into 10 to the power 23 number of electrons will be there, and on 1 electrons this amount of charge used to reside. So you have to multiply with 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. If you will multiply these both quantity, then definitely you will get 96500. My dear student, it is one of the important number that you have to remember, because this won't be given in the question. Okay, so these things you have to keep in mind. If you are forgetting this amount, then just you have to remember there is total number of 6.0223 into 10 to the power 23 number of electrons will be there in 1 mole, and since on 1 mole there are 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb charge will be there. So after multiplication you will be getting 96500. This is most important thing. Okay, so I think hope so it is clear for all of you. Now I am going to discuss about the Faraday's first law. Okay, so I am writing the quantitative aspects of Faraday's first law. Faraday's first law. What is the meaning of Faraday's first law? Just understand one thing. Already I am discussing about the electrolytic cell. Okay, so if you will see, in electrolytic cell, this will be the electrode. Okay, and we are going to connect this electrode with the help of a battery. Okay, so if you will see, this is a negative plate and this is a positive plate. Okay, this is called as the cathode in electrolytic cell. This will be the anode. Okay, and here there will be an electrolytic solution. Okay, now understand. Already I have discussed about the qualitative aspects. If there is a NaCl solution is in the NaCl molten solution is electrolyte. My dear student, if NaCl molten solution is in electrolyte, then after passing electricity in molten solution of NaCl, what will happen? NaCl will break into Na plus ions plus Cl minus ions. These things will happen inside the solution if you are taking the molten solution of NaCl. Now what will happen? Since Na plus is a cation, this is a cation and Cl minus is anion. So the migration of cation will take towards the negative plate, okay? And since cation is positively charged, okay, Na plus. So in that condition, what will happen? Na plus will accept one electron, it will be getting converted into Na0, and Cl minus will be losing one electron and will be getting converted into Cl2. Okay. So if you will see on cathode, you will get sodium metal, and on anode you will get chlorine gas. These types of product you will see. Okay, so this was the qualitative aspects of the electrolytic cell. Why? Because here we are discriminating about which product is going to be formed on the cathode and which product is going to be formed on the anode. This was the scenario that I have discussed earlier, okay, in my previous lecture. Now I am going to discuss about how much amount of sodium is going to produce on the cathode, how much amount of chlorine gas is going to produce on the anode. So in Faraday's first law, generally we used to discuss about weight, number of moles and number of equivalents or volume of the substance which is going to produce on either of the electrode, either anode or cathode. That depends upon the scenario. We will be using qualitative aspects, and after that we will be coming to the quantitative aspect. First we have to discuss about which product is going to form on which electrode, and after that we will be discussing about how much amount of that product is going to form on the either cathode or on the anode. That is the part here. Okay. So and that will be in terms of either weight or either number of moles or number of equivalents or volume. That depends upon the questions. In question, which types of thing is asking. If question is asking how much amount of sodium is going to be formed, then we will be calculating weight of the sodium. How much moles of sodium is going to be formed, then we will be calculating number of moles of sodium. How much volume of chlorine gas is going to be formed on the electrode, respective electrode, then we will be calculating the volume of chlorine. Okay. So understand one thing. I am going to give you a basic fundamentals of gaseous state right now, so that the thing becomes very easy. If you will see at STP, any gas, any ideal gas, generally understand one thing, in your syllabus generally any gas you are using, that will be ideal gas, especially in the electrolytic cell. If any gas is going to produce on the either electrode, either cathode or anode, we will be assuming that the reaction is happening at STP. Okay, if nothing is given, and generally any gas, for 1 mole of gas, at STP, okay, it acquires a volume of 22.4 liter. Okay. Now understand, since if number of moles is equals to 1, then volume is equals to 22.4 liter. Okay. So you have to calculate volume of at any number of moles. So just you have to multiply with number of moles multiply with 22.4 liter. My dear student, that is most important thing that you have to remember. Okay. And if you have remembered these things, how will we calculate? If you have calculated number of moles, then just multiply with 22.4 liter, then you will be able to calculate the number of amount of or volume of that amount gas at that particular number of moles. Okay. So this was the basic thing that I have discussed that we will be using in the question. Okay. Now understand one thing. What is happening here? In the previous lecture, I have already discussed if NaCl or molten solution is there and you are going to supply electric current, then what will happen? NaCl going to dissociate in Na plus and Cl minus. Now we are going to calculate how much amount of sodium is going to form on the cathode and how much amount of chlorine is going to form on the anode. Okay, and just understand one thing. These things we will be calculating with the help of Faraday's law. What Faraday's law says? Faraday's law says the amount of or weight of a substance which is going to be deposited on either of the electrode, weight of the substance which is going to be deposited on either of the electrode is directly proportional to charge supplied. Okay, this is W. W is weight of a substance, and Q, that is equals to charge supplied. Okay, now understand one thing. Already you all have studied in mathematics. If you are going to remove a proportionality, then you have to add a proportionality constant, and if you are going to remove, then you have to add ZQ. Here Z is a proportionality constant, and it is also known as electrochemical equivalence. It is also known as electrochemical equivalence. I think up to this the topic is very clear. It's very lucid. I don't think you will be facing some problem because I have done nothing here. Only I am telling about the amount of substance or weight of substance which is going to be deposited on either electrode, that is proportional to the charge supplied. Okay, that is charge Q. Okay. Now you all have studied, I think, current electricity in physics. There you have studied Q is equals to I multiplied with T. Q is charge, I electric current, and T is time. Okay, if you are going to multiply electric current with time, then you will be getting a charge. And already you used to define the electric current rate of flow of charge per unit time. Okay, or flow of charge per unit time is called the electric current. So in this way you have to define this way. Now I am just writing this formula. If you will see, then you can write Z into I multiplied with T. Okay, here Z is electrochemical equivalence, I is electric current, T is time up to which electricity is going to be supplied for that particular purpose or for the particular process. Okay, so this was the scenario. Now understand one thing, I am going to define the value of Z. I think you have all have written these things. I am just rubbing it out from the board. If you want to define Z, that is the electrochemical equivalence of cells. So you can define, just understand one thing, I have written W is equals to Z into Q. If you want to calculate Z, Z will be equals to W by Q. Okay, this is the same. Now understand one thing, Z you can define if you are supplying 1 coulomb of current, 1 coulomb of charge, the amount of substance which is going to produce on either of electrode, if you are supplying 1 coulomb charge only, okay, that will be equals to the Z. So if you can define Z equals to amount, just understand one thing, amount is you can define amount in two three ways: weight, number of moles, volume. So just I am writing here weight. In terms of weight, amount of substance deposited on either of electrode while passing one coulomb of charge. If you are supplying 1 coulomb of charge, then the amount of substance which is going to be deposited on either of electrode, that will be called as the electrochemical equivalence of cell. You can write Z is electrochemical equivalence of cell. My dear student, understand one thing, Z is the property of a particular substance. If substance is gonna be changed, then the value of Z is gonna be changed. How? Just understand one thing. I am writing here. If you will see, just for a sodium, if sodium is there, Na plus, it will be accepting 1 electron and it will be getting converted into sodium 0. Understand one thing, sodium 0, that is deposited in the solid form. Understand one thing. For 1 mole of sodium, you are supplying 1 mole of electron. Here, if you will see in the reaction, just understand one thing. So many students used to fill out while writing, they used to understand only one sodium atom is there. That sodium atom you are supplying 1 electron and we will producing 1 atom of sodium. You can understand in this way also, but in general way in chemistry, generally we used to avoid only single atom because we used to discuss about the macroscopic level, and when you go in the macroscopic level, then you used to discuss about the in terms of number of moles. So here you have to define there is 1 mole of sodium plus ion is will be getting 1 mole of electron will be getting converted into 1 mole of sodium given the solid form on the either electrode. Okay, where it will get deposited we'll tell you later. But 1 mole of electron. Now understand one thing. For 1 mole of sodium, you understand there is 23 gram of sodium. Okay, so and 1 mole of electron, if you will see, 1 mole of electron means 1 into I think 96500 coulomb of charge you are going to pass, and you are getting 23 gram. So if you will be supplying 1 coulomb of charge, you will be getting 23 by 96500 into 1. Okay. So if you are supplying 1 coulomb of charge for sodium, then you are getting 23 by 96500 into 1. Why I am writing 1 here, I will tell you in the next example why I am writing 1 here. Okay. So it will become very consistent for you. So understand 23 by 96500 into 1. This is the electrochemical equivalence of sodium metal. Okay. This is the electrochemical equivalence of sodium. Okay. So in this way we used to calculate the electrochemical equivalence. My dear student, already I have discussed told you that electrochemical equivalence Z is the property of a system, property of a particular substance. If substance is gonna be changed, then Z is gonna be changed. Okay. So I am writing here if you are going to calculate the electrochemical equivalence of calcium, so how will you calculate? So understand one thing. If calcium will be in the Ca2 plus, it will be accepting 2 electrons and it will be getting converted into Ca0, that will be in the solid form. It will get deposited in the solid form. Understand one thing. For 1 mole of Ca2 plus, it will be accepting 2 moles of electron. Okay. So if you understand 2 into 96500 coulomb charge, if you are supplying, then you are getting 40 gram of calcium because the atomic weight of calcium is 40 gram. Okay. So if you are supplying 1 coulomb of charge, then you will be getting 40 upon 96500 into 2. Okay. So understand, I think the thing is very clear. Why this 2 is coming in the formula? Why? Because for 1 mole of calcium 2 plus, it has to accept 2 moles of electron. That's why this 2 is coming in the formula. Okay. Understand one thing. So this 2 is N factor for sodium. If you will see, we have already defined this is an N factor. Okay. We used to define this 2 is an N factor. So you can define, already I have discussed all these things about the N factor. So number of electron per mole that is exchanged in a chemical reaction, that is called as the N factor. So there are 2 electrons that is going to be exchanged or that is going to be accepted by calcium for conversion into Ca0. That's why the N factor for this calcium will be 2. That's why in this formula there is a term regarding 2 that comes in the formula in the denominator. If you will calculate Z for aluminum, then this will come in this way. Aluminum will get deposited on the electrode and in the solid form. Okay. So here if you will see, for 1 mole of aluminum, it is going to accept 3 moles of electron for the conversion of Al0. So here you can assume this 3 into 96500 coulomb of electron. If aluminum is accepting, then it is producing 26 gram of aluminum. So if 1 coulomb of electron will be accepting, then it will be producing 3 into 96500. So Z for calcium will be 27 upon 3 into 96500. My dear student, this is the N factor for aluminum. I think value of Z you all have understood. How will you be calculating the Z? And you know, if for every metal, just for calcium Z is 40 upon 96500 into 2. For aluminum, Z is 27 upon 3 into 96500. For if metal is gonna be changed or a substance is gonna be changed, then the value of Z is gonna be changed. Friends, according to that. Okay. Now on this, I am coming to the Faraday's law. How this term helps for the calculation of weight of the substance with the help of Faraday's law in an electrolytic cell. I am going to be discussed right now. So according to the Faraday's law, already we have discussed W is equals to ZQ. W is equals to Z2. If you are writing W, Z is equals to atomic weight upon N factor multiplied with 96500 multiplied with Q. So these things will come in this way. So now, my dear student, already I have discussed about if atomic weight is going to divide it by N factor, then it will becomes the equivalent weight. So weight is equals to equivalent weight multiplied with Q upon 96500. These things will come in this way. Now again I am just going to derive this formula. Weight upon equivalent weight, that is equals to Q upon 96500. Okay. Now weight upon equivalent weight is equals to number of equivalent, that is equals to Q upon 96500 is equals to, you can write Q is equals to I multiplied with T upon 96500, and this term is also called as the current equivalent. So here from the Faraday's first law, if you will see, then Faraday's first law tells us about number of equivalence is equals to current equivalence. Okay, and current equivalence is equals to I multiplied with T upon 96500, and number of equivalents we all have defined weight upon equivalent weight, and already you have got the associative of calculation of equivalent weight. Okay, so I feel ki you don't have will be feeling any problem while calculating equivalent weight. Okay, I think up to this point you all are clear. Okay. So if you are going to calculate the amount of substance or weight of sodium or weight of chlorine which is going to produce on cations, and weight of chlorine, volume of chlorine which is going to produce on anions, just understand how we will be applying the Faraday's first law. Okay, in this way. First you have to supply electric current. Without supplying electric current, it doesn't mean ki electricity. Without supplying of electric current, the substance or molten substance will get break into the ions, and production of sodium or production of any substance will get started. So before without supply, without flow of current, nothing is going to be happen in the electrolytic cell. So anything if you want to produce, first of all you have to focus for the supplies of the electric current. Understand one thing? If this is a sodium NaCl molten solution, already generally this is a common example, that's why I am taking it, NaCl molten solution. Next, in the next class or in this class also we will be discussing about so many substances. Okay, for the qualitative aspects. Now understand. Now we are going to merge both two aspects, qualitative and quantitative. Then you will be able to understand. Then you will be able to get the actual the required answer. Okay. So this is cation. Sorry, this is cathode and this is anode. Okay. Understand one thing. Here sodium metal will be there. Sodium metal is cation. It is negative. It will migrate towards the negative plate, and chlorine gas is there. Chlorine ion is there. It will migrate towards the positive plate. It is anode. So I think up to anode part and cathode part you all have cleared. I don't have to discuss about that. Now understand one thing. Here is sodium metal. Okay. So understand how we will be calculating. So I have told you, if W upon weight upon equivalent weight is equals to I multiplied with T upon 96500. Since there are two electrodes, one is cathode, one is anode. Okay. So number of equivalent, if you will see in this case, so number of equivalents of sodium at cathode, that is equals to number of equivalent of chlorine gas at anode, and that is equals to current equivalent. I think you all have understood what is the current equivalence. I won't be writing in the from the next topic what is current equivalence. You have to understand if current equivalence is written on this board, then you have to understand I into T upon 96500. Okay, so that is equal to I into T upon 96500. Understand how will we calculate it? So if in this circuit you are supplying a current of 2 ampere for a time of 20 seconds, and question is asking calculate the amount of sodium metal which is going to form at cathode. First of all, you have to understand which substance is going to form at which electrode. So sodium is going to be formed at cathode, chlorine gas is going to be formed at anode. But question is asking you calculate weight of sodium. I am just taking a basic example so that it will be very easy to understand you. After that we will be going to the topmost level of the question. Okay, so first try to understand we have to calculate the weight of sodium metal which is going to produce at the cathode. So in that way, if you will calculate, so weight of sodium metal upon equivalent weight of sodium metal, that is number of equivalent, that is equals to I into T, that is equals to current equivalent 2 into 20 upon that is 96500. Now equivalent weight of sodium is equals to 23. Why? Because the equivalent weight is equals to atomic weight upon n factor, and n factor for sodium is used to be 1. Why? Because when sodium is going to change from Na plus to Na0, then it is going to exchange of 1 electron, and due to this exchange of electron, the n factor will be 1. So the weight of sodium, that is equals to 40 upon 96500 gram. This much amount of sodium that is going to be produced at the cathode. Okay, so in this way you have to perform the question. Now understand one thing: if the question is asking calculate the amount of, or calculate if in the question, if the question will be telling if weight of sodium that is equals to 46 gram, then calculate the current that is required if you are supplying with a time of 60 seconds. So how will you calculate this types of question? So already you have to go it from the Faraday's law. Faraday's law says the amount of substance or weight of substance which is going to deposited on either of electrode, that is directly proportional to the charge supplied. So here you are writing 46 gram of sodium and equivalent weight of sodium is 23. I am not writing this everything every step. Just you have to understand. Already I have discussed you everything. That is equals to I multiplied with T is 60 and upon 96500. My dear student, understand one thing. If this I is coming, then this I will be in the ampere. Okay, try to focus on these things. So it will be in gram. It will be in gram. It has to be in second, and it will be in the coulomb. Okay, so you have to focus on the unit. Otherwise, sometimes it used to give in the question you will see millisecond is given, milligram of substance weight is given. You have to calculate the current in milliampere. So all these things. So just focus on the unit part. Okay. So if you will be calculating I is equals to 46 multiplied with 96500 upon 60 multiplied with 23. If you will calculate 23, 30, that is equals to, so 9650 upon 3 ampere. You will be getting that much amount of current. Okay. That is the value. Okay. So in this way you have to perform the calculation. Okay. So now understand one thing. I think up to this point you all are clear. Okay. Getting now I am going to discuss. Already told you the weight up is equals to atomic weight multiplied with I multiplied with T upon 96500 into n factor. Now just let it come from here. So weight upon atomic weight, that is equals to I multiplied with T upon 96500 into n factor. Okay, so this is equals to number of moles. So number of moles, that is equals to I multiplied with T upon 96500 into n factor. My dear student, you will see, so number of moles of substance is inversely proportional to n factor. Okay, number of moles of substance is inversely proportional to n factor. You have seen in this way. Okay, so if you will see on either of the electrode, if there are two substances, I am just assuming, understand one thing, this is the electrolytic cell This is the electrolytic cell. I am just assuming it as A and it as B. Weight of substance which is going to produce at A is W. It is WB. Okay. So if you will see Na upon Nb, Na is number of moles of substance which is going to produce at A, and B is number of moles of substance which is going to produce at B. That is equals to inverse of N factor. N factor of B upon N factor of A. In this way, you have to go through the process. It's one of the easy thing. You don't have to focus here and there. Just try to understand the basics thing, because everything is very coherent. If you will be able to correlate everything, then the thing becomes very easy. Okay. So now understand one thing. I am just taking an example of, in this solution, I am just putting AgCl aqueous. AgCl aqueous. Okay. So how will we proceed? Now AgCl aqueous we are going to write. So if the electric current will be passed, then what will happen? Anode and at cathode. Why I am writing here? Because without qualitative analysis, we can't go to the quantitative analysis. So that's why I am writing at anode and cathode. Why? Because it will tell us about the qualitative analysis. Okay. If you will see, at anode Ag plus will be there and H2O will be there. Okay. And here at cathode Cl minus will be there. Here Cl minus will be there, H2O will be there. Here Ag plus will be there, and here that is H2O will be there. These two things that you will see here. Okay. So now how will you discuss, how will you calculate the thing? Already I have discussed with the electrochemical series. Okay. And electrochemical series, if you will see, this is cathode and this is anode. So at cathode what will happen? Reduction reaction will take place. At anode what will happen? Oxidation reaction will take place. So for reduction, the substance which is going to be reduced first, or the substance which is going to form, that substance should contain the high value of reduction potential. If you will see, this H2 already I have written in the electrochemical series. This H2 comes at number 7, and I think this comes at number 19. So the value of reduction potential for Ag plus is more. So Ag plus is going to be formed at cathode, and Cl minus and H2O. I think this I have written at number 23, 21. So which is going to be oxidized first? So reduction potential for chlorine is more, and reduction potential of H2O is less. So H2O is getting oxidized. So at anode we will be getting H2O. So I am writing H2 and anode, and that is cathode. These two things first you have to understand. Qualitative analysis. Now I am going to on the quantitative analysis. How quantitative analysis tells that we will go to from there with the help of Faraday's law. Faraday's law says if cathode is there and on cathode Ag plus will be there, and Ag plus will be taking one electron, it will be converted into Ag0. And at anode already I have told you oxidation reaction takes place, and when oxidation reaction used to take place, then H2 is getting oxidized into O2. So if you are going to multiply here, you have to add 2H plus 4H plus 4 electrons. So for this reaction N factor is equals to 2. Now you have to understand, if you are supplying an electric current, now understand one thing, number of equivalent of Ag, that is equals to volume of, or you can say that number of equivalent of oxygen gas produced. Number of equivalent of oxygen gas produced. Now, if in the question it is said that if you are going to supply, I think up to this point you all are clear. You have already done the qualitative, qualitative aspects of the Faraday electrolytic cell. So if question is 2 ampere current is passed up to 20 seconds, then calculate the weight of Ag that is going to deposited at cathode. That is equals to what? Weight of Ag upon equivalent weight of Ag, that is equals to I. Okay, I. Then you can write it I2 multiplied with 20 upon 96500. I think equivalent weight you can calculate, that is atomic weight of Ag upon n factor will be 1. Why? Because in this reaction there is only one electron that is going to be getting exchanged for the Ag conversion of Ag plus into Ag0. Okay, that's why I am writing n factor is equals to 1. Now understand one thing, for this particular reaction n factor is equals to 2. So if you have calculated this one, then you can calculate number of equivalent of oxygen, and number of equivalent of oxygen is equals to what? Weight of oxygen upon equivalent weight of oxygen, and you all know the equivalent weight of oxygen is equals to 8. Okay, so here you can calculate 40 upon 96500, that is equals to weight of oxygen upon equivalent weight is equals to 8. So from here you can calculate weight of oxygen. Understand, if weight of oxygen is coming after calculation is 32 gram, just I am supposing this. From there it won't come 32 gram, just I am supposing. If you have calculated these things and you are getting only 32 gram, if the question is asking calculate the volume of oxygen that is going to be formed at anode, so how will you calculate? Okay, so you have calculated weight, so from here you can calculate number of moles of oxygen, that is equals to 32 upon 32, that is equals to 1 mole. And already I have told you, if nothing is given, then you have to assume everything is happening at the STP. So number of moles is equals to 1. So now you can calculate. So volume of O2 that is going to produce is equals to 22.4 liter. So that much amount of volume of O2 that is going to form at the cathode. Okay. So I think up to this part you all have clear now. So from in this